Hello, those of you that are here. I'll just give it a bit of time for people to come in. I'll wait the painful 2 minutes staring at myself. Okay, I'll wait 1 more minute. Okay, let me get prepared here. Okay, I might just kick this off. Thanks to everyone who is here. I don't feel like, oh, actually, I'll just share that. I don't feel like this will be a super long one, to be honest. Oh, and I'm at the wrong side. Wait, what have I done here? Okay. Let me just get out of a few things. Okay. I'll just share my whole desktop. We'll just take that risk. Okay, I'm hoping you can all see. Thanks for joining me. Third week of Side Hustle September. I normally have a colleague of mine, Kate, on here just helping me out with questions, but it's just me today. So if you wouldn't mind saving your questions to the end, that will probably just help me manage the volume, because it'll mean if any come through that I end up answering, I won't get distracted and things like that. So maybe just take note of any questions that you have along the way, and please pop them in the little question box at the end. So let's kick this off. Today's session is all about DM tactics. So I just wanted to give you a bit of a refresher in case you are new to Sunroom, or maybe you've forgotten some of this. But there are 5 different ways you can make money on Sunroom. So subscriptions, which I'm sure all of you are across, custom experiences, which we have gone into and did some work on curating in the prior week. So these look like a bit of a menu of services. There's tipping in DMs, in comments, and also beams, which are used for purchasing of your custom experiences as well. And then you've got likes on your grid posts, and then you've got private posts, which are locked posts sent in chat. So I'm going to dive into all of these a little bit more in this session. So if it doesn't make sense, it should by the end. So I just wanted to show you all the power of chatting and how much money you can actually make from your DM. So these are real creators on Sunroom. I've just pulled a selection of them to show you how much they make from these kind of different, I guess, tools you can use on Sunroom to make money. So this first creator here, this creator has made a pretty substantial amount of money. They have made 53% of their earnings from memberships, but the other, 47, 46% has actually come from tips in DMs. Private cheer means a private post. So 11% of their earnings have come from them sending locked posts in chat, and 15% of their earnings have come from custom experiences. This creator as well has earned quite a bit, but 38% of their earnings have been memberships. Tips in DMs has actually been 33% of their earnings, 12% from locked posts, 12% from custom experiences. So I guess the picture that this is painting is how critical private posts are for our creators. We see creators that earn, this creator here has quite a small follower base. They've got about 800 followers on Instagram. They've made 6.5 grand on Sunroom. But we tend to find for the creators that have a smaller follower base and therefore a lower membership base on Sunroom, just because they've got less people to bring across in the first place, they tend to really leverage private posts and custom experiences. So if you are a creator that doesn't have a huge following, you do definitely need to be grinding in DMs to make that money. And this is a really good example of someone who's done that. This creator over here as well, 20% of their earnings from private posts, 20% from tips in DMs, 20% from custom experiences. That's 60% of this person's earnings that have all come from DMs and what you can do in DMs. So I hope that just shows the potential of leveraging these tools successfully. So custom experiences, I just wanted to fill you in on a few things you could be doing with custom experiences that you may not be leveraging already. The first one is using your custom experiences as a promotional tool, which I've actually got another slide on next. So I'm just going to park that for now. But I did want to show you some examples of some pretty good custom experiences. It is worth noting, I recommend that you never have more than 10 custom experiences. So if you have more than 10, I would consider consolidating some of yours. Maybe you've got some that are quite similar and they can be meshed into one. We find that if someone has more than 10 custom experiences, it just creates decision paralysis for your members. So I think 5 is a good number, 7 is a good number. Sure, you can go up to 10, but don't have more than 10. Some custom experiences that we see working really well is this buy me a coffee one. So if you don't have a buy me a coffee custom experience, I would recommend adding one and do just price it pretty low. This one as well is really good. The request a real-time selfie. I saw a creator do it the other day and she wrote something like real-time selfie in brackets, even if I look ugly, which I thought was great because your members love that immediacy and they love feeling like it's live. So real time, even live chatting is a good one. Some creators have like 15 minutes of live chatting and then they just have a conversation with someone for 15 minutes once they've purchased it. Treat Me is a good one as well. If you are the kind of creator that knows you've got some big spenders in there, you could consider adding a Treat Me option and you would be surprised at people just coming along and tapping that. So there's just a few ideas for you if you're looking for some inspiration in custom experiences. And if you are a creator that's been on Sunroom for a while, it is a good idea to maybe refresh your custom experiences. Perhaps you've got 1 or 2 in there that have just never been purchased. So it might be worthwhile subbing some in and out and then using that freshness as a way to promote. Another really good tactic here is to speak to your custom experiences in your automated welcome message. So Fullabus Bestie does this really well. She's got a really clear rundown here of what she offers. I know all of you will be very much across custom experiences. Automated welcome messages. So I'm sure you know this vibe, but it's also a really good idea to add something like this. In my custom experiences, you can purchase content where I reveal a bit more. If you're interested in this content, reply yes, and we can chat about what you'd like. You could also get specific here. You could even say something like, I offer custom experiences. One of my most popular is advice in a voice note. If you've got any burning questions, feel free to tap that option and I'll get back to you ASAP. It's just a nice way to upsell in the moment someone comes in. Another really good tactic that Full of Us Bestie and a lot of our high earning creators do a lot is about once a week, Full of Us Bestie will do a post like this where she will post quite a lot of content. So she'll post a video, she'll post inspo shots. As you can see, this is a 5-part post that she had already given all her members included in their membership. But then she also used her caption to drive people in to her custom experiences. So she does do essential content. So this is obviously a essential example, but she said, DM Black Love Heart to get your hands on it. It's 2,500 sunbeams. And yes, it's fully topless. So it is a good idea to like be descriptive, and it is very smart to like tack something additional onto a grid post and try to push people into your DMs to either purchase a custom experience or tip you to see something extra. Cool. Okay, so we've been through this before, but I just wanted to tie it into this again. So posting about your custom experiences is also a really good way to just remind people of the value that you add and try to grow your account. So if you are a creator that's been on Sunroom for a while, maybe you do want to refresh your custom experiences and then go in, screenshot them and promote them on your stories. You definitely could include a testimonial. You could include messaging like, I've opened up more space. You could just speak about how much you've enjoyed offering that service to your members and that you didn't realize like how much joy it would bring you. Basically just use it because it can be a really explicit way to prove, I guess, where the value is in your account and just to highlight to your followers exactly what you do on Sunroom. So custom experiences is just always a really good one to keep up your sleeve. Order forms. Okay, this might be something that you are not completely aware of. It is a relatively new feature and it's really, really useful. So I'm sure some of you have found yourself in conversations with people in DMs where they're actually just asking quite a lot and the conversation is just going and going and going. So a couple of things you can do, you can literally take some of the language that I've got here, but for me, when someone's starting to ask me a lot of advice about business or career, I will actually say something like, this is starting to sound like it's more suited to my ask me a question in detail custom experience. You can book below, and reminder, beams are 30% cheaper on web. And then I would literally just go to the little icon that looks like this and I would tap, resume review, 30-minute mentoring call, ask me a question in detail. I would literally tap whatever the custom experience is and it will send through to that person on the other side as a little order form that they can choose to accept or decline. So don't be afraid to just intercept a conversation a little bit like, hey, I think I could better support you via my custom experience advice in a voice note. I'll pop the order form below and reminder, beams are 30% cheaper on web. I think it's always a nice light touch to add the reminder, beams are 30% cheaper on web, because it can feel a little uncomfortable asking someone for money. But I think this language is reminding people and reinforcing that you're actually adding value here. This is a service. And hey, by the way, beams are 30% cheaper on web. I always throw that in just because I think some people forget that beams are 30% cheaper on web. So it's nice to remind them. So yeah, the order form icon is down here in your chat. So it's a really good one. It really saves you time and saves a lot of the back and forth and saves you having to explain where custom experiences are located in your bio and things like that. Okay, private posts. So, if you aren't sending private posts, you definitely should be. They are an amazing way to up your earnings. So, private posts are essentially locked media that is sent in chat. You can send these one on one, but you can also send these out to all of your members at the same time, which I will get to in a second. So, a few ways you could think about private posts. You could shoot a multi-part series. So make sure the content that you shoot is different from what you typically post on your feed. Perhaps it's more vulnerable, more revealing, more insightful, more entertaining. It should be more valuable or more personalized than your feed posts. Once you've got that content, and I do always think it's good to have at least 2 frames here, not just one. I think it's always best to give something for free and then something locked. Otherwise, your members can start to feel a bit ripped off. Some members are surprised that not everything is inclusive. So I think it's always nice to give a little bit for free and then lock the second part. You'll then want to create a new message and add the media. So you would tap into the chat frame and you would click this one in a private post, require tip to unlock. You would then upload your content in here. The number one thing to remember here, the biggest mistake I see creators do is that they lock multiple parts. That is a big, big no-no. And it's probably the second highest reason as to why people cancel their memberships. So we collect feedback when people cancel their memberships. The number one reason for people canceling is that the creator didn't post enough. That's the number one thing that comes back on feedback. But I would say number two is this, where a creator has sent locked media in chat and they have locked the second part, the third part, the fourth part, and the member feels really deceived. And this is probably on us. A member can't tell how many parts are locked. So as far as they can see, it's just the first part for 1,000. So they unlock the first part for 1,000 and then they are shocked to see potentially another 1,000 or a 500 or a 2,000. So we are in the process of building it so you actually can't lock multiple parts. You can only put a paywall in one place. But whilst we don't have that, I just need to bring your attention to it now and give you a heads up. If you are going to be sending private posts and lock posts in chat, only lock one part. And if your goal is to make 3,000, just lock it for 3,000. If your goal is to make 1,000, lock it for 1,000. It doesn't make people happy having multiple paywalls. This actually isn't a great example over here, which is why I've kind of thrown this in here just to make it clear you only want to lock one part. Another way to make sure these are really successful is you should be writing a super descriptive message to send with the post. So I've just uploaded some crappy photos from my photo album, but if this was a video behind here, you should really explain what that video is and use your copywriting to sell and create intrigue, because the more descriptive and the better your description is, the higher the chance of someone unlocking it is. That's how you do private posts. Oh, actually, one other note I had here. Private posts are definitely great one-to-one because you can make them super personal. But another really good tip we've seen is we've probably already informed all of you to keep little lists in your phone. So I've got a list in the notes section of my phone of my 7 highest spenders. And whenever I'm feeling like I want to make some quick cash, I will create a piece of content just for those 7 because I know there's a high probability they're going to unlock it. I will craft the descriptive message. I will come up with my first frame free and then my second frame locked. And then I will send it out to those 7 people at once. So in your message frame over here, a lot of people forget or don't realize that you can actually type usernames in here and then send out to those 7 high spenders all at once. So I'll just come into the new message frame, type in those 7 people, write the message, upload the content, and it will go out to those 7 people individually, obviously. I don't think they'd love the group text. But mass DMs just generally work so well. So if you're not leveraging mass DMs, you should be. So I just sent a mass DM out to all my members today. I went for the casual check-in is what I went for today. So I just went into the new message frame, tapped all my members. I sent a selfie of me just sitting on the couch and a wrap up of what my day has been like today, because it's just been one of those days. And I think people like the casual nature of that and they like the casual check-in. So like I was saying earlier, number one reason for cancellations is not posting enough. I think sending a bulk message does the same job as a post. So if you're not feeling like you've got to post up your sleeve, you don't have the visuals up your sleeve for the day, you should definitely consider just sending a bulk message out to all of your members where you're not asking for anything, you're just checking in, and you've sent them a casual photo of yourself. This was actually mine today. So I actually started talking about fertility. I went down a completely different route and sent a casual photo to all of my members. I'm not asking them for anything. I'm just showing that I'm there. So that could be a good thing to work into your schedule, your content strategy from time to time. A monthly newsletter is also a great one. This was a monthly newsletter. Again, I'd tried this for a while, where I shared like what I'd learned that month, best thing that happened at Sunroom, something that stuck with me, like a podcast or a book recommendation. And with this monthly newsletter idea, I actually did ask for something at the end. So you could consider writing like a monthly wrap up and then at the end of the newsletter saying something like, also got a spicy photo on offer today, 1,000 bean discount, hit me back with a love heart if you'd like this. And that's also just a nice way to get the cash trickling into DMs. A weekly check-in is a good idea. Asking for feedback is a good idea. At the end of my newsletters, I would also ask people for feedback, and then I would strategically screenshot that feedback and then use it when I would do my like testimonial stuff like this, for example. So all of these strategies can kind of weave into one another. If you don't have any testimonials yet, you could consider sending out like a monthly newsletter where you remind people the value that you've added that month. You give people a look into what you have coming for the month ahead, and you ask for feedback at the same time. And then you can just use that as a cycle to then like try and bring in more people whilst you're still making sure your members are seen and heard. Another really good strategy we've seen work in DMs, which some of our existing creators no doubt saw, was my co-founder actually started playing Two Truths and a Lie with her members, and then she would come into work talking about how many beams she'd made last night because she was playing Two Truths and a Lie with her members. And we were just like, wow, that is such a good idea. So we rolled it out as a campaign and we had really good feedback back from this as well. So you could also send a bulk message out to your members, like who wants to play a game, give them 3 options: Two Truths and a Lie, DM roulette, truth or dare, just to make it fun and gamify it a little bit and get people chatting and get that energy up. And then probably the ultimate win is if you combine a mass DM with a private post. We do have creators that do this a lot. And when I say a lot, I think it's important to not get spammy. You don't want your members to feel like you are just constantly asking them to upload, to unlock and pay for additional stuff, which is why I think it's important to like do these casual check-ins. We see creators all the time just take like a sweaty selfie, send a bulk message out, be like, on my way back from the gym, what are you all up to today? So it's definitely important to have balance and to give back for free from time to time, but it also completely works to send a mass message with a private post sometimes. Like you could do a newsletter, you could do a casual check-in, and then you could also add your private post where the first part is free and perhaps you're talking to what's coming next, and then the second part is locked. I really should have given you guys an indication of how much we were going through today, but that's actually it. These are like bread and butter, the things that will really get your earnings going in DMs. So I might just stop sharing. And yay, I've got 4 minutes to spare. Let me go into this. Okay. And if anyone else has questions, feel free to just chuck them in now because I'm ready to go. Okay. Question. How do you create different newsletter lists of members versus sending to everyone? So I literally just create lists in my phone of my high spenders because they're, for me, kind of the only people I really want to treat a little bit differently. So I would recommend just keeping a list in your phone. And then as I showed in the deck, maybe this was asked before I got to it, but on that frame, actually, I wonder if I can just show you on my phone. If you've got your app open right now, you literally just go into your chat section, create a new message. So tap where the new message is, and you literally can just type in people's usernames. It is manual. But if you're targeting high spenders, then I don't think the volume would be that high anyway. So that's how I kind of single them out and send in a group. I hope that answered it. How do you play chat roulette? Yeah, good question. Let me literally pull up this example. I should have it still open. Let me find an example. Games, here we go. I've got a screenshot of how someone did it. Okay, do you want to play a game of DM roulette? They go, I'm interested. What is DM roulette? And the creator goes, haha, you should be. I have 5 insane pieces of content, a mix of pics and videos ready to send. I've labeled them from 1 to 5. If you tip me 1,000 sunbeams and send me a number between 1 to 5, I'll send you back a piece of content. It's a little mystery game. Let's play. So that's how you can do it. So come up with content, come up with some numbers, let people know you've got a bunch of different content labeled with a number. They pick a number, you send it back. I think probably Truth or Dare and Two Truths and a Lie were the most popular because they feel probably the simplest, but that's how you could do it. Yay, I'm glad. Okay, do voice notes only work on the app? My member never got my voice note. Really good question. Voice notes weren't built originally on web, but I thought we added them. Let me really quickly check. I'm literally asking our lead engineer right now if they were added. I'm really hoping he gets back to me. He's normally very, very prompt. Come on. Yeah, they weren't released on web originally. So if a member is saying they didn't receive your voice note, they must be on web. I thought we'd added them, but I just need to get confirmation information on that. But for now, I would potentially check if your member doesn't have an iPhone, if you are selling someone a voice note custom experience. Although, amazing news for you guys on this call, we're probably launching our Android app for creators in a couple of weeks. And then it will be live to all members. So this shouldn't be a problem for too much longer. Oh, okay. This is a question about photo sizes. It was when I upload a landscape photo, it crops it. Does Sunroom only suit vertical images? Yes. We're really not built for landscape images, and because you can't zoom on Sunroom, it's just far more suited to portrait vertical style. Okay. Someone has said that they've tried a few of these things but haven't seen engagement from their members. I can't really help if I don't know who you are. Or if I'm not able to look at your profile. So feel free to just hit us up in DMs and I can give you a bit more help. Because these are pretty, usually the response we get from these is pretty positive. So I just want to make sure there's not something off in your setup, or perhaps you haven't promoted Sunroom enough and brought enough people across. Maybe you're still in that building trust phase. So feel free to DM us and then I can help you personally. I think this was perhaps the first one that's ever wrapped within the half-hour scheduled time, which is amazing. This is recorded and it will be added to our link on Linktree if anyone needs to review the content again. But I hope this was helpful. Definitely give these a try and leverage that mass DM feature if you haven't already. I do feel like a lot of people don't know it exists, and we are working on ways to make it a little bit more obvious. But give them a try. We love hearing how these go for you and what your own spin on them may have been, because then we can pass them on to others. And then next week will be the last week of Side Hustle September, where I'll be sharing a lot of case studies and strategies that our creators have been rolling out that you could leverage as well. Thank you all for your time, and I'll chat to you in DMs if you need it. Bye.